Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where are you in the world today. Welcome to our webinar, Unlocking the Future, Elevating Premium Brand Experiences through Digital ID Technologies. We have quite a busy agenda for today, but before we move into it, I would like to introduce our today's speakers. A very warm welcome to Sophie, the CEO of Bastille Perfume, to Mattia, Ambassador and Marketing Manager at the Team Suckling, Carlo, Sales and Marketing Director at Said, Adrian, Business Development Manager RFID at NXP Semiconductors, and Marina, Business Development Manager Beauty at Avery Dennison. Thank you so much to all our speakers for joining us today. And moving into our agenda, we will start with two short introductions to digital ID technologies, its benefits and usage for the premium brands. And then we will cover three real-life use cases from Bastille Perfumes, from DMT Cycling, and Mosnell Binary. If you have any questions during this session, please submit them in the Q&A section of the Zoom. Our speakers will answer as many of them as we have time for at the end of the webinar. And with that, I would like to give the floor to our first speaker, Marina.
Thank you, Olga. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It's a real pleasure to see so many people joining our webinar today, and also a big privilege for me to share the stage with our guests and our partners, and to speak about how digital technologies are helping to prepare the future. But before we hear from our guests, and for those who don't know us, I would like to touch a couple of words about Avery Dennison Corporation and some top-level benefits that technology brings to our days. So our group has been around for almost 90 years. We are a multinational company and the largest UHF RFID partner worldwide. So the group is a material science company that has evolved into the digital technology realm. So we attribute digital identities to items, as we believe that in the future, all items will be able to communicate and to have their own identity. And this will give them the ability to enable the supply chain to become more digital, more accurate, and improve the visibility from the end-to-end perspective. But historically, we are specialized in the design and manufacturing of the wide variety of functional labels and materials. And our products are used in almost every major industry, including home and personal care, apparel, e-commerce, logistics, food and grocery, pharmaceutical and automotive, and broadly many other applications under the general industry. So we describe our digital ID technology as a progressive family, flexible and adaptive. We call it digital triggers that helps to create the unique identity of every single product that becomes digital. Everyone is familiar with the simple barcode or the augmented QR code, but there are some other sensors, including latest innovations such as printed electronics, you see it on the screen, or passive Bluetooth. But today, we will be more focused on how the UHF RFID and NFC technologies are helping to improve your business. And we will hear more about the best practices from our guests. So how it works. Those digital triggers, you can move, please, could be attached or integrated into every single item, and it allows us to create its digital twin. So it is like giving your perfume a voice, and he will speak about his journey. So in combination with our connected product cloud Atma.io, we are able to track and to follow the end-to-end of your supply chain for every single item. And the use of the key technologies such as RFID is helping brands to adapt this sustainable way of business. Because by having and tracking every single unique product, you can easily identify and follow up, and this through the supply chain from the early stage when the perfume or bottle of wine or sneakers was born up to the point of sale and when it was sold to your customer, and potentially to its end of life and ability to be recycled or to be reused. And what is important to highlight here, and if you can get back, sorry, Olga, I didn't want to interrupt myself, but what is important to highlight here, that you can combine some of the digital triggers together. That allows you to unlock some additional use cases, and you will see it together with the Basti experience sharing, where the UHF RFID sensor was combined with an augmented QR code, and it was allowing Basti to have all operational benefits while providing the unique experience to their customers. So by using those digital triggers, you create a big value in the intersection of the physical and digital world. And what are major benefits that technology brings to the table? We can enumerate several. And firstly, we see that the customer experience is now the new loyalty. So it is really important to understand and to anticipate the customer needs, what is driving their choice, what they are looking for. And as a part of their great customer journey, the seamless shopping is critical. And it is helping to make your customer happy and loyal. Secondly, we see that the customer today is value driven. So with the digital IDs, you can empower the story behind the product they buy. So from where it's coming from, what they are made of, and as well as their impact on the planet. Technology is also helping you to address the labor shortage, which is another important issue in retail today. And by enabling in-store automation, the task became more efficient, which is not only improves the shopping experience for your customers, we discussed it already, but also improves the employee satisfactions. And of course, technology is helping to prepare for the new legislation. And on the horizon of the digital product passport, digital IDs only ensure compliance with such regulations. So in summary, the transformation in retail is enabled by serialized, connected products that offer not only seamless shopping journey to your customers, but also the compliance with regulations and better supply chain management. And now I will leave the stage to Adrien from NXP, and he will speak more in detail about their RFID and NFC technology, their specifics, their benefits for premium brands. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. And before we get into explaining two of the technologies you just highlighted, RAIN RFID and NFC, I just want to say a quick word about NXP Semiconductor. So we are a Dutch semiconductor company designing and manufacturing IC chips. We are also in the S&P 500 and listed on the NASDAQ, and we have about 34,000 employees worldwide. So our semiconductors, or chips, can be found in many items of your everyday life. They are in your car, in your mobile phone, in your credit card, or in your passport. Narrowing down on today's topic, NXP, the world leader of NFC and RFID, designing and producing the chips that powers many of the tags in your clothes within the labels of your perfumes, wines, or spirits. So before we jump into the use case and real-life implementations of our guests, we thought it would be good to give you a short introduction on what RFID and NFC technologies are about. So let's start by RFID, also called RAIN RFID or UCODE at NXP. UCODE is a fully passive radio frequency technology, meaning that it does not need a battery to operate, as it is the readers that will provide the energy to power it. UCODE is already widely used at most apparel retailers and in logistics. Hence, it benefits from its thorough standardization at an international level. If you have to remember only one point, is that this technology can read up to 1,000 tags in a second at up to a 10-meter range, and this without line of sight and with remarkable accuracy. Typical implementation involves mobile or fixed readers retrieving the electronic identifier of the products and connecting to a cloud, which contain most product data. RFID tags are most commonly used under the forms of labels, allowing to be used just as a normal label, without impact on the design of the product. In some cases, the tag can also be embedded in a material, such as molded in plastic, for example. Now let us address shortly the NFC technology. So NFC stands for Near Field Communication. As for RFID, NFC is a fully passive technology and doesn't need a battery to operate. The chip is also being applied as a label or embedded in the product. The first major advantage of NFC tags is that they can be read with almost any smartphones on the market, and this without even downloading an app. This means that consumers in stores or at home can benefit from an appless, installation-free user experience by simply tapping their mobile phone on the tag, thanks to the URL that is stored on the chip. As you understand, thanks to the ease of use on a smartphone, NFC is perfectly fit for the EU Digital Product Passport that Marina mentioned earlier. One note on the reading distance: most NFC labels need to be placed at a few centimeters only from a mobile to be read, and slightly more using dedicated industrial readers. So to summarize, UCODE RAIN RFID is a technology perfectly fit to read hundreds of labels simultaneously at a relatively long range, while NTAG and iCode NFC tags can be read at a short range by most smartphones on the market to provide authentication and give exclusive user experience. I also wanted to bring your attention on the security benefits of these two technologies, as premium brands face threats all along the supply chain. In this image on the right side, I tried to summarize some of the challenge and fraud that can damage a brand reputation. Production overruns at suppliers, counterfeits, market diversions, or even refills of genuine product bottles, but with counterfeit liquid. In order to secure your premium brands and fight fraud, all our product families can embed an AES cryptographic feature that are close to impossible to forge, to copy, or even to clone. This crypto technology gives consumers the assurance that they have a genuine product in their hand, coming from a legitimate channel of distribution. It can also be used to manage product return or repair, for example, in the watch industry as well. Even better, thanks to a dedicated tag tamper detection feature, those NFC or RFID tag can detect if a bottle, for example, has been opened or not. Now, to summarize, UHF RFID and NFC will enable the electronic identification at item level all along the product lifecycle, as you can see on this slide. During manufacturing, UHF RFID gives visibility over each and every individual items, maximizing quality output and enabling fast item recall or reprocess in case of manufacturing issues. Inventories can be done in an instant. Inbound and outbound logistics can be automatized with a much higher accuracy and throughput than ever before. The production-related information, such as geographic origin or batch and lot number, can be digitally associated and stored for each individual item. In distribution and retail experience, UHF RFID will enable a better control over the distribution channels, making sure that each product will be distributed in the right place and at the right price, preventing market diversion. And as Marina pointed out earlier, UHF RFID enables in-store automation, providing accurate real-time inventory for every stock keeping unit and creating smart shelves equipped with an NFC or an RFID reader to monitor live product pick rates for each individual item. After purchase, RFID enables distributors to authenticate the genuinity of their incoming shipments, while NFC technology enables consumers to perform this authentication and on top provide exclusive digital experience on their own smartphone. So now I will leave the floor to Sophie Maison to understand more about her real-world use case. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian, and hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here today to share our experience as a brand on these digital technologies. So I'm Sophie Maison. I'm the CEO of Bastille Parfum, a French fragrance brand that has been created in 2020. With a name like Bastille, typically French, we celebrate freedom, olfactive freedom. We celebrate freedom in all its form, and we create perfume that can transform your daily life. We are a young, innovative French brand specializing in sustainable and natural fragrances. As part of our key values are transparency and sustainability, and you may have seen recently this new BBC documentary about perfume's dark secrets. So I think transparency and sustainability are hot topics at the moment in the perfume industry. If you haven't seen this documentary, I invite you to watch it on the BBC. So in light of this, this reinforces our belief in transparency and sustainability within the perfume industry. Today, we believe that actually consumers have the right to know what's in their perfumes. It starts with ingredients, and we are actually a pioneer in sharing our full list of ingredients on our website for each of our products. We strongly believe that consumers have the right to know what they apply on their skin and what they breathe. This small world, fragrance that you can read on each inky list of every single cosmetic can contain up to dozens of ingredients. And at Bastille, we just tell you what's in it. That's that simple. We are also very committed to sustainability. We are committed to reduce our plastic usage, minimize waste with minimal design and smaller packaging. We really pay attention to the partners we chose to keep our production as local and durable as possible. So you may ask, so why launch this initiative? Like any brands, we have challenges. For instance, the lack of supply chain visibility can entail to bad inventory management, but also, as you know, multiplication of counterfeit products. And we know this is a massive issue in the beauty industry. Other challenges is the landscape, which is more competitive than ever. So there is a need for differentiation, and it can be through the packaging. So thanks to this initiative, we could not only enhance supply chain visibility, but also our brand experience for our customers by offering even more transparency to them. So in a nutshell, why did we start this initiative? To go further in transparency, which is in our core DNA. Also because of the rising consumer demand for greater ingredient disclosure. You can see that insight on the slide, 36% of beauty consumers rank increased transparency about ingredients as the top way brands can help to make more sustainable purchases. And also the pressure of upcoming legislation. We all know the digital product passport is coming for fashion notably, but that might potentially apply to other sectors like beauty. So I think we need to be aware of it. So on to the next slide, please. In our case, we had 3 technologies that were involved: RFID, augmented QR code, and Atma.io connected product cloud. So the RFID sensor technology for improved supply chain tracking and inventory management, all our products were tagged and labeled with RFID. There was also a QR code that was on the same label, printed on the same label, and that was enabling consumers to get access to product data that we chose to share with them. Lastly, the Atma.io connected product platform, cloud platform, was assigning unique digital identities to our products. Next slide, please. So what were the benefits of using RFID and QR codes connected to the cloud? Well, first we had supply chain benefits with RFID technology being able to give you a real-time view on your end-to-end supply chain. RFID technology allows you to track and trace your product across the entire supply chain. And it's a great tool to have an immediate view on all our processes, all your processes in real time. It brings multiple benefits, such as improved inventory management, counterfeit mitigation, and operational optimization at the factory for our partners. Tracking purchase order in real time is also another benefit. It allows you to achieve a higher level of factory outbound accuracy as well as an accurate planification. But the most important, onto the next slide, please. The most important for us was actually the consumer engagement. Not only were we able to have better operational excellence from a supply chain point of view, but we also were able to develop a solution driving consumer engagement. As you can see from the slide, we use actually the QR code that was printed on the label applied to our packaging, and people were actually able to scan the QR code and access from their mobile phone this experience, this digital experience, where they could access detailed product information, ingredient origin, bottling date, olfactory values, fragrance composition, sustainability details, and the unique identification number given by all this RFID label, making sure that your product was the one and only. On to the next slide, please. But beyond the benefits of, as I said, supply chain, we've really been able to have a better consumer engagement. Thanks to this digital experience, we've driven up a newsletter signed up where we've been able to also to gain insight into our customers, in their preferences, tracking all this insight through the platform at Maio. It had really enabled us to strengthen our customer loyalty, create and develop a stronger connection between the brand and our consumer. It enriches our CRM with very valuable interaction insights. And Bastille, as a result, has been really seen as a pioneer in this space. But I would like also to highlight the importance of partnering with the right experts, and the fact that with the partnership we had with Avery Dennison, we've been able to have a comprehensive end-to-end solution. We've also, and we are very confident that this type of transparency are really what a consumer will be looking for in the future. So I can only recommend you to test and learn for yourself. Thank you. I think next is Mattia, who is going to share a case study on cycling.
Hi everyone, I'm Mattia Viel and I represent the marketing department of DMT Cycling. Our dream began in 1978 with the first cycling shoe. Since then, we have never stopped redefining our standards to always create something new. Our mission is a dream shared with some of the most demanding cycling worldwide. Collaborating with them is a great inspiration for us and takes our research to a further level to overcome the limits of existing technologies and develop new ones. Our factories, together with the research and development laboratories, are the beating heart of the skills and knowledge that in recent years have allowed us to combine a strong artisan imprint with a consistent spirit of innovation. A philosophy that we have enriched over the years, creating new realities within our group and diversifying our production into other areas of sports footwear. In our laboratories, we design and study new solutions with the most innovative materials to meet the needs of professional and all cycling enthusiasts. And on to the next slides, please. So for cyclists of all abilities, the two most important factors to keep in mind are to be as light as possible on the bike and to ensure their own safety. So we managed to find a solution for both by implementing shoes with advanced technology to address the safety issues of riders not affecting the weight of the shoe. Cycling, especially road cycling, is mainly an outdoor sport, which means they are exposed to many risks. I'm also a former professional cyclist, so I know this very well. And so therefore, the opportunity of having quick and easy access to essential informations like medical records for first responders to assist the injured rider, it's really important. It's actually vital. And as much as we focus and promote product performance with here in the picture we have Tadej Pogačar, the winner of the Tour de France and the last Giro d'Italia. We have put energy into prioritizing safety of riders without compromising then obviously the final result. So DMT has a forward-thinking approach to create the first portable emergency safety system within the cycling shoe, and we're very proud of that. Thank you. So what's the solution? The solution is a tiny chip that is inserted into the left shoe. There is a reason why it's the shoe and it's not anything else of our product, because the shoe, it's the only product which is always with us in case of accident. We can lose the bike, other components could be mixed, but the shoe, it's always with us. And so with this tiny chip in the left shoes, the rider have a chance to upload all the medical records such as blood type, allergies, or any other information that medical staff must be aware of. And they can also upload emergency contact details. So as I said before, the elite cyclist Tadej Pogačar, which is now one of the top three riders in the world, is the first one to carry his ICE tag, so in case of emergency, details on a contactless NFC tag within his footwear. But how does it work for users? So first, use your smartphone and scan the NFC symbol. This is on the left side of the shoe, and this will allow you to register to an app. So you download the IceKey Tag app, and finally you log into the app with the same details you used to register with the NFC scan, and you fill in with the relevant information. The data entered into the app are then stored onto a protected system. This is also very important to say. And the data can also be accessed at any time with the login details to update the information. But in case for the first responders or medical team, they will only have to tap on the NFC and symbol, and all the rider's information and the relevant information will immediately be shown on the screen. So it's just a tap. It's very fast, and no app, obviously, as we said before, nothing else is needed. So in conclusion, I would say that for us, again, it's super important to develop the lightest and the most performant products in the cycling industry, and we're proud to be represented from our top athletes in the world. But we do not have to forget how important is safety, especially when we are outdoor and we train, we race, or we cycle for any users. So we also want to highlight how much safety is important once we are outdoor for our clients. Thank you, and yeah, thanks for your attention.
Thanks, Mattia, and I will give the word to Carlo.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you also to Mattia and Sophie. Look into these solutions. I'm very proud of being here, being one of the panelists of today's sessions. I'm Carlo Carminati, sales manager of Site, the company that representing the system integrator as well as the wineries. So I'm also proud of representing a winery. We deal with the RFID technology since more than 20 years. So we know very well all these aspects that also the other mate here today explain. Maybe for someone of you, it could be something strange, but it's something that sounds really good. Also, in applying a solution like a winery, a wine manufacturers, it seems that an application like this one doesn't deal and connect really with technology, but I would like to show you a demonstrator that it is not like that. Mosnelli is one of the most ancient wineries in Franciacorta, where we live, a small land well known all over the world for the good wines. I hope every one of you like wines. So what we have done with them, dealing with them since many years, is trying to help, supporting them on respecting their ancient tradition on making wines, but introduction also new technology to support them in their process. So on the next slide, we will see that the challenges were many and also really, how to say, challenging. Sorry for the confusion, but Mosnell asked us, we would like to have a solution to support us in the warehouse management, so logistics aspect, so wine movement and tracking, as well as have knowledge of the market where really our bottle goes, dealing with authenticity. Maybe why not having anti-counterfeit solution integrated and to be sure that our product is original and to assure our customer on this. And again, why not in the end, but not least, but not last, having a solution, a connection chain between our end customers and our product. And moreover, you have to know, to add something more on these challenges, in Europe has been introduced since the last year, the end of last year, for the wineries, a new regulation that requires all the wineries to put into the labels, to communicate to their customer the nutritional factor of the wines. So the wines is considered like a food, you know. So now Europe wants also this. So we have also these two answer to this challenge. So how we did it? In the next slide, we can see that the solution that bring itself by the RFID technologies is to put a serial code on each bottle. How to do this? We used, as an XP said before, we don't want to our customer to make them change their processes. So we used the standard label, integrated into their label, different technology. Mainly, we put a QR code that it's easy to be read by someone else, by anyone else using our smartphones, you know. And this is something easy to be done, but it's also something to do that is easy to be counterfeit. So we added the UHF tag, thanks to the RFID technology that inside has got the serial number. Combined with the QR code, we can reach all those goals. And finally, we integrate also the NFC tag, where is required by the customer to combat the counterfeit. So the refilling is one of the techniques used by the counterfeiting people. So we added the NFC tag that, as said by XP before, can understand if a bottle has been opened or not. And thanks to the combining of all of these technologies, we can follow the entire supply chain processes, starting from the creating the code, applying, so labeling the bottle, so applying on the bottle, reading every single bottle, boxing, so the packaging processes, and then on the logistics, enabling the reading one shot, which we with one shot read all the bottles all together inside every boxes, and so managing also the warehouse logistics aspect, as well as knowing every serial numbers that we deliver to any end customers, so controlling the market. So we speed up the packaging process. We don't have to read every single bottle, but we read in a while all together, and we know which bottle in which box to which customer. So thanks to the combining of these technologies, in the next slide, we can resume the results of our project. That thanks to this cooperation within us, with Denison and XP Technology, and the availability and the confiance of Mosnell, now gives them the possibility to control the distribution channels, knowing exactly where in the market are the bottles, and knowing which is the end customer that owns the bottle, and starting over a relationship one-to-one. And thanks to this, they can guarantee their customers on having, how to say, in their hands a product, original product. So if augmenting the consciousness of the product, communicate them the ingredients, communicate them the normatives, following the normative rules, and moreover, starting over and communication one-to-one, thanks to the customer engagement functionalities included. All these aspects are also allowed thanks to the blockchain that is integrated and related, and FAT code is related to all these codes. So all this information that we share with the customers are guaranteed by the blockchain, enabling much more branding and value on these products. If you have any questions, now we are going to enter to the Q&A session. So feel free to ask any question, and thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much, Carla, and thanks so much to all our speakers for this informative session. And indeed, as Carla mentioned, we will move to the Q&A. I saw we have a few questions submitted already. So I think I will start with one addressed to Sophie. So Sophie, what advice would you give to people willing to embark on this type of project, like deploying digital ID technologies?
My advice would be to actually make sure there is a vision that is being shared with all the stakeholders regarding the implementation of this type of innovation, because it takes a lot of conviction to make sure that everyone is onboarded, and without the willingness for everyone to implement it, it's going to be very difficult. And I'm going to be transparent, because that's what we are at Bastille. We are transparent. We had actually difficulties to convince some of our partners to actually embark on this journey. So it took us a while to align everyone. But once you have one common vision, as always on a project, it's easier to implement. And my second advice would be more on the deployment of the consumer engagement part. We dedicated a lot of energy and focus on developing the content of this consumer engagement experience. And in the process somewhere, I think we didn't pay enough attention to how are we going to make that known by consumers, by our retail partners, what is going to be the relay in point of sales. And for us as a small brand, it was a bit of a challenge that we had underestimated. Of course, for bigger groups, that would be easier because they have different budget to allocate to these things. But those would be my main to advise based on my experience.
Thank you so much, Sophie. And yeah, the next question I will address to Mattia. So when I'm as a consumer buy like the pair of your shoes, how do I know there is an NFC chip, and like how do I know how to use it?
So it's very simple because there's gonna be a paper in the box that you will see once you open the box. I can show you something here. So all the informations will be written on the paper. So info about obviously the shoes that you're buying, so info about the product, info about the NFC system, how can you use it, how to upload like all your vital informations, and how like the person, like the emergency staff that will rescue you in case of emergency will have access to that. So it's something very important for our top products, and we thought that it was also really important to explain to the customers like how it works, and it has to be very, very like simple and intuitive.
Great, clear. Thank you so much. Then I have a question for Carlo. Can you maybe share with us some numbers or data on improvements which Mosnell Winery have seen working with your solution?
Sure. Thank you for the question. We measure in Mosnell, as well as other wineries, that thanks to the automatized enabled by the RFID technology, we improved till the 75% the resources. So they reduced the personnel to check it out, to put the bottles one each other by hand, reducing till the 75%, as well as the bringing more efficiencies to warehouse processes, where the time is less than the 50% to make the preparation of the orders, and reducing it to the 95% of the picking errors. Okay. And finally, we measure the 100% of accuracy for the inventory, as well as the 100% of the knowledge of the market, because we have introduced something that were not possible before.
That's very impressive results. Thanks for sharing, Carlo. And the question to Marina. Marina, it's great to hear about the young brands such as Bastille using your solutions, but can beauty brands of all sizes benefit from it?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Thanks for asking it. And I would say beauty brands, but also retailers selling multiple brands from every size are able to benefit from having their RFID technology and tracking their products. And when we start to work with our customers, so we first make an analysis of their needs versus their positioning, their size, their challenges on the market, and also the specifics of their business. And this allows us to then tailor the appropriate solution for each of our customer. And it is like you don't have the same need that your neighbor, right? So some brands or retailers will look more after the operational efficiency or inventory accuracy. We discussed a lot about it, and how to fix the overproduction as an example. But other players will need more consumer engagement piece that our speakers were mentioning earlier as well. So transparency, traceability, self-checkout, and etc. So it is important from the beginning to define, in whatever the size of the company, the scope of the project, and then to involve other stakeholders. Like Sophie just mentioned earlier, it is important to onboard everyone because it is critical for the success of such transformational projects. And from the early adopters of the technology, I can mention the Grupo Boticário, which is the second largest cosmetic company in Brazil, and the largest beauty franchise network in the world. So they are selling an incredible number of products in multiple countries, and the use of the RFID technology basically allowed them to improve their inventory accuracy from 45 to I would say 97, almost 97%, which is ultimately increased their revenue as well. So I would say that more complex your supply chain is, bigger you are, and more use cases you want to leverage and to unlock, so more benefits you will have from the technology. Yes. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the insights, Marina. I have also two a bit connected questions. I think Adrian can start and maybe Carlo can add up on it as well. So are there any technological challenges to take into account when using RFID and NFC technologies on specific items or materials, for example, as wine bottles?
Yes, thank you very much for this question. So that's actually a question we have heard a lot in the past. So what is important to understand is that the RFID, especially for the RFID, but also for NFC, the RFID industry is really growing at a very unprecedented rate. I think the official numbers are that we are tagging 4 times more items now than 5 years ago. Okay, and that is because the technology come to a certain maturity. So there is a certain number of reflection or absorbance of radio frequency by materials such as liquid or metal. But due to this very mass adoption, companies like NXP or Avery Dennison, we had to work on making the chip more performant, to make the labels more performant in order to manage those challenges. So for liquid, there is things that we are using, such as the self-adjust, which is the features that all our chips are equipped with nowadays. For metal is similar to manage frequency shifts. And in inlay technologies, there is a lot of new things that are also implemented to manage those challenges. So I would say it used to be a problem, but it is much less a problem nowadays. So yeah, today you can have excellent performance on bottles, perfumes, alcohols, or any type of liquids using the state-of-the-art inlays on the market. Yeah.
Carlo, do you want to, thanks Adrian. Carlo, do you want to add something on it, like in your solution, which inlays you are working with and how it works?
Okay, in our case, thank you to Adrian explain the most information important that you have to know, but specifically the technology, as Adrian said, the inlay that you choose must be chosen specifically depending on the kind of application. For example, on a packaging, a carton box, you can use one kind of inlays. On a bottle containing liquid, we are at the limit of the technology. That's why we developed for almost 3 years with NXP and Avery Dennison to find an inlay specifically designed and engineered to working for the bottle. And so not every inlays can be applied in this case. And moreover, we have to challenge the fact that the inlay must be applied within the label. So it must be not visible in some case, or in the case it is visible, we have customers that ask it to be visible. It must be nice and compliant with the imaging of the canteen. So there are many aspects to be considered. The main of this is that the working must be guaranteed 100%. And this was the real challenge, and then we did it.
Thank you, Carla. And one maybe small additional question to you, like, is the QR code required for your solution? And maybe why is that so?
For me?
For you, yeah.
Okay. The QR code is, how to say, it's got two goals. First of all is the instruments to get that information read by anyone else. I mean, the customer side, because the UHF tag cannot be read by standard devices. So if the manufacturer wants the end customer get those information, they need to provide them identification technologies available to them. So the QR code is available for everyone else. The second aspect is the QR code is working also like a backup. Try to imagine if the RFID doesn't work, or the NFC, if it is coexistent, doesn't work. You lose the possibility to identify your product. But in this case, you've got both. Okay.
Thank you. I know there are a few more questions in our Q&A, but our time for this section is already over. So I would like to thank all our speakers of today one more time, and especially our guest speakers for sharing their valuable insights into how innovative premium brands are using digital ID technologies to elevate their brand experiences. Thanks for all our listeners today live and for submitting their questions. We will be sharing recording of this webinar with all people who registered today. And yeah, if you have any additional questions, please reach out to Marina and Adrian. Like, you can see their contact details on this slide. So maybe those who submitted questions and really want to hear answer can ask them directly. And yeah, with this, I would like to close this webinar. I wish everybody a great day and goodbye.